to be a less complex market when it comes to certain areas of compliances.
Right.
But I want to take that boat ride.
त्या पास करूया का? भूक लागली.
छान आहे ना लाईट आज. आता हे आजी आजोबा गेले ना, कोणी नाहीये खूप लांबपर्यंत.
ऑडियन्स पण आहे समोर.
पण ठीक आहे, थँक्स फॉर द कम्फर्ट.
Let's zoom out a little bit and think from the point of view of authorities. So they are looking at a small and aging population.
भयानक ऊन आहे.
Say it 5 times.
बऱ्यापैकी जोरात सर आहे.
मग आपण भिजतो. रोलिंग केलंस ना?
हो. Hello everyone, welcome to the third episode of GRC Cast with Shruti and Rishi. And by now you must have guessed the location from where we are recording this episode today. I'll just give you a few hints nonetheless. So this place has been consistently in the top 5 spots of the Ease of Doing Business Index assessed by the World Bank. It reached as high as the 2nd spot last year. And this place is also ranked to be the least corrupt in Asia and the 5th least corrupt across the globe, according to the Transparency International's Corruption Index. So by now you must have guessed the location, and I can't hear you guys, and he's not allowed to say it. So this is Singapore.
So we have been here for I guess more than 10 days now.
Yeah.
And we have met a lot of people across industries. And the primary information that I get is that GRC wise it seems to be pretty sorted, isn't it?
It does come across to be a pretty sorted market when it comes to compliance. Maybe it is less complex when it comes to certain areas of compliances.
Right.
But that's not entirely true, I would say, because I could still observe certain areas where companies are still grappling to manage their framework better. So Rishi, ESG has been a pretty well-known concept now across the globe, right?
Right.
Even India and many other jurisdictions, as I know, are taking proactive steps to regulate this particular space better.
Correct.
But so far I have seen only large companies or listed companies being affected by this particular initiative of the government.
Is it the same case in Singapore?
No,
Okay.
Precisely that's the example I wanted to cite. Recently I came across a circular issued by the Singapore government,
Okay.
which actually was applicable to this very famous tourist attraction in Singapore called Sentosa.
Okay.
So there are lots of dining places, attractions and hotels located in Sentosa.
Right.
And this circular was surprisingly addressed to them. And the circular has mandated that these dining places, attractions and hotels actually phase out the single-use plastic water bottles.
Correct.
And they have to do this by the end of this year. So, for small and medium businesses which are generally not accustomed to a very design-oriented approach towards their compliance framework,
Right.
may struggle to keep implementing these new compliance standards and new measures that are constantly being issued by the government.
Correct.
And therefore, I think it seems to be a pretty sorted market, but is it actually so when it comes to certain areas? Then the answer could be no.
Any other example?
There's one more example of money laundering issues
Okay.
in Singapore market.
Right.
Singapore being a huge global hub for banking and finance industry, though it has earned good reputation when it comes to corruption matters,
Right.
it seems that it has not been able to gain that status when it comes to money laundering issues. If you see the kind of circulars that are being issued by the government, I think they are constantly trying to combat this particular compliance risk
Right.
by coming up with new compliance standards. And I think that affects not only the big banks, but it also affects the small and medium banking and finance industry.
Right.
And for them, implementation of these increasing compliance standards could be an issue.
So the message that is coming across is lots of newer and newer things are coming up.
So I think these examples just show us that it seems to be a less complex market when it comes to certain areas of compliances.
Right.
But because of newly emerging compliance risks,
Right.
businesses are struggling to wrap their heads around the compliance framework. So Rishi, we've spent a good 10 days in the market now.
Yeah.
What has been your observation when it comes to the tech space?
So as far as the tech and tech plus GRC goes, there are a few definite observations. So looking from the authorities side, they seem to be looking at a small and aging population, and their ultimate goal seems to be maintaining their economic edge over other geographies. So overall, they really want to encourage innovation. They really want people to try out new ideas across different domains. They want new markets to open up. But at the same time, they want to reduce the risk aspect.
Correct.
They want to ensure that the law is robust and at the same time easy to comply. In other words, they really want to give the corporate world here a sweet spot for innovation and at the same time being compliant with the law.
Yeah.
So a couple of examples I can cite here. First one is related to AI. So in 2016, the Privacy Commission created a model regulatory framework for AI. And
wow, 2016 was way back when AI may not have been even a thing, right?
Right. Look at their foresight. And they encourage people to adopt AI by giving grants through their enterprise development board. Another example comes from the fintech domain. So the Monetary Authority of Singapore has created a regulatory sandbox. So sandbox is essentially a closed guarded space where companies can really innovate, can try out new ideas, build new solutions, test them out, roll out without the fear of law. But at the same time, the confines that have been created in this sandbox allow to graduate and be compliant with the law, when they go beyond a certain stage. Singapore looks like sort of a microcosm of the developed world in Asia as far as, approach towards GRC is concerned.
It's one of the most forward-looking markets.
Absolutely. And anybody from the corporate world who wants to see what the future looks like, who wants to make their business, who wants to make their clients future-proof, should definitely be paying attention to what is happening here.
In this space, right. So we would also like to take this opportunity to announce that Flag GRC is extending its operations to Singapore very soon. So this episode was a very short take on what we observed in these last 10 days, but we will soon come up with much more detailed insight into this market as we start operating in this space more. And so stay tuned and keep listening and keep watching. Bye.
Bye-bye.